Hey everybody, it's Mark Ling here, and today I have a super affiliate with me. Her name is Mariath. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Um, and she has actually done over $1 million this past year. I actually interviewed her a year earlier in another platform. I chatted to you a year earlier, and she was already doing quite well. Following her boyfriend at the time, and still is, Robbie Blanchard's system. But now she's just taken it on herself. And, over time, when you start with someone's system, sometimes you tweak things, sometimes you take things further and you have your own ideas. And I'm sure it's probably like 80% the same, maybe 20% her own now over this time. And she's done extremely, extremely well. And I wanted to bring her on here to chat about and just give us some insights as to how she managed to go from nothing and scaling to over $1 million as an affiliate in the past year. So welcome along, Mariath.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Like you said, when I started, I had no experience at all. So being able to have a training, right, Robbie's training, and go through and learn the steps and how to set up. Actually, going even before that, Robbie tried, like before if he even had any training, he tried to explain to me a couple things, or he basically just like gave me some stuff to run like for ads, and I had no idea what I was doing. So at that point, I kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I don't have any instructions or anything, so I didn't continue. And then after the training, I was like, you know what? Like now I have, I have all this material and resources, and I'm just going to study and learn from that. And then that's when I started to do much better, right? And then this past year, like you said, I generated over $1 million in sales, which has been, pretty crazy. I think the biggest thing, like since we talked, I wrote down some goals, and I had that in mind, and I was so determined and focused to achieving those goals. And that's when things just really took off for me.
I think some people also, they'll go ahead and they'll say, okay, $1 million in sales. And then they'll go, what does that really mean? I mean, it's still a significant amount, even if that's not the finished amount. But would you mind sharing with us, and you don't have to if this is private, but it'd certainly be helpful for people to get a figure on when things scale, because sometimes someone will make 1,000 a week and they're spending 1,000 and they're making 1,000, so they make 2,000. But I'm guessing those margins might be lower when you're talking $1 million in revenue. What sort of profit margin would you make out of all of that?
Yeah, and you're right. So it's $1 million, over $1 million in sales, but my profit out of that is about 40. It was about 40%, but then I got some refunds too after that. So it probably ranging around like 30-35%. I would say 30% after the refunds. But which is still so much more than I used to make with my 9 to 5 job, right?
So that's over $6,000 a week in profit. And I want people to realize it's not that happens overnight. I mean, I know hundreds, or at least 200 people that are making over $1 million a year, because I've been around since 1999. I'm doing well online, and I know a lot of people doing well. Most people don't just get to $1 million a year in the space of their first year. It does happen on rare occasions, but that's not everybody. And in your case, you were doing really well after 1 year, but now this is the second time I've had you on now, and now you've had this additional year, and this has been where you're able to scale it. So you're basically saying you've taken some profits for yourself, but now at some point you've gone, you know what, I'm just going to invest a lot of what I've just made right back in, and a lot of what I've just made right back in, because some people wonder, how do you get the money to spend to, like 6,000 profit? That's great, but that means you've spent maybe close to 20,000 that week. I don't have 20,000, but you didn't start with that either, right? You would have started with a small budget, but things scale from profits. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, absolutely. So usually what I do is I start very small. I basically start with 6 ads, $20 budget ads. So in a day, right, $20 daily for about 6 ads. So that puts me at $120 a day for a campaign. And then I'll start like that. And then I'll run for a few days, for 3-4 days, look at my data, and then analyze it and choose my best creatives, my best ads from that data, make adjustments, and then go again. And then from that point, then I start to narrow down all my winners, and I start to get some profit, right? And then that profit I reinvest in launching more campaigns and scaling the campaigns. So you're right. So like usually, right, I'll start with $100, $120 budgets daily. But once my campaigns are working and I'm getting that money and I'm getting paid, then I'm able to pay off my credit card and keep going, right? Keep scaling. A lot of, talking to other people that are doing this, just sometimes when they're starting out, they get so nervous because they're like, well, like, how do you spend that much money, right? But technically I'm not, because I'm making more than I'm spending, right? So even when I'm spending $20,000 a day, well, I'm making 30,000, so it's not really coming out of my pocket.
It's house money as well. It's not like you started off spending 20,000, and at some point it would have been just your money, because before you've started making money, it would have been just yours at some point. And for some people, that turns out to be 500 before they've broken even, learned a few things, and then start making profit. For others, it could be 1,000, and for some people, I've seen go as high as 2,000 or 3,000 before they really, got back to break even, and then they're profiting from there. But the key is that you're following a good method, right? Well, before we talk about where the traffic's coming from and stuff, you're following a good method for deciding whether an ad is a winning ad or a losing ad, and whether something is worth running additional tests on. And then you are looking to find those small pockets that you can scale and spend more on. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, correct. So, and you're right. Like during that testing phase where I'm trying to find my winners, my winning creative, my winning ad, basically, I am a lot of times in the negative, right? So that can be like $2,000, $3,000 spending towards finding that winning creative. But I know that once I do, I can make that money back in less than a day. And that's when I'm at the higher spend, right? So when I scale my campaigns, I can make $10,000, $15,000 in profit in just a single day. So I'm not worried about going negative during that phase, because I know I just need that. I need to test to find my winners, and I know that once I do and I scale, I can make that money back really, really quickly. So I see it as an investment. And the other thing too, as like while you're testing, it's just as important to know what doesn't work than what works, right? So the testing phase is crucial, obviously, to be able to find a successful campaign. And once you do, then you're just worried about now finding pockets of traffic, and meaning like testing different audiences and just finding those audiences that are giving you the best cost per sale. And then you just focus on that, and you dialed in on those audiences, and you start scaling the campaigns, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I purposely didn't start out by talking about the specific source or sources of traffic you use, because this stuff for people watching is fundamental to any method of affiliate marketing. Whether you're driving traffic that's free from the search engines, whether it's free from some Facebook group, whether it's free from a YouTube video, like a channel, or whether it's paid traffic from TikTok ads, from YouTube ads, from Facebook ads, from Google ads, wherever the traffic's coming from, you still need to have this sort of methodology where you find that method where your time or money is being bought at a discount, and then it becomes you're spending money to make money. This is a method that works well because it fits that narrative, but it happens to do it with Facebook traffic, right? So in this particular case, this model works with Facebook ads, and it works with any kind of affiliate offer, but in particular, most of the people following this model like to promote health supplements. Am I correct in saying that? Even though there are a lot of variances to that. There's like 80% might promote health stuff and 20% might promote like a whole lot of other niches, because it does still work.
Yeah, so most people do promote health related products, and the audience for health related products is so broad, right? There's just especially weight loss, so that it's just the easier way to get started, make money faster, because your audience is so broad, right? So you can target.
It's a bigger audience. There's more percentage of people in the world that just want to lose weight anyway.
Exactly.
Than say,
yeah.
It could be. I've done well in the dog training niche, but that niche it's still broadish, but it's much kitschier than say weight loss. There's 10 times or 100 times more people wanting to lose weight than want to train their dog. They might be a dog owner, but they don't feel like they need dog training. A lot of people are actively trying to lose weight, as an example, and that's just weight loss. There's a lot of health niches.
There's a lot of other offers, like diabetes, and a lot of other good offers in the health niche. But most of the people that I know, that I network with, a lot of them are in the health niche. And it's also, the other reason why is because there's a high conversion average order value for those offers comparing to other niches, that it just people are more interested in, right? So like you can make $150 for each product that you sell on a weight loss, for example. So that's a pretty high number, and that's, I think, for the most part, other than being broad, I think most people are drawn to that number, to that average order value. So for the most part, that's what I promote.
Yeah, I get you. And when I say that it's not just those niches, though, I mean, for me, I just added another product that I'm promoting recently. Is it's not a supplement. It's a what is it? It's a pesticide remover. It actually removes pesticides from food, and stuff like that. And it's just immediately first day, made I don't know, it was 11 or 12 sales on my first day, which was pretty good. For a product that was paying good commissions, and I was doing it with organic traffic in this particular case. But just trying to say that there are a lot of niches out there, people that are not just weight loss, that are to do with health, that people they want to improve their health, and they're willing to spend money on a good product. And I think that's pretty handy. But also I think the fundamentals, though, are that in this world, if you want to get ahead, you have to find a way to spend money to make money, or put your time, at least to, if it's all your time, then that's kind of spending money to make money too. So, some people do it with free traffic by recording a ton of YouTube videos of themselves and stuff like that. And some people do it with paid traffic. Paid traffic's, from what I see of what you've done, it's a matter of, you might spend $500, $1,000, maybe even $3,000, trying to find that pocket that you can now spend and grow and scale from, which means that, some people say, why isn't everyone doing it? If you can spend $1,000 and make, say, $1,400 back, and you can do that and spend $10,000 and make $14,000 back, why isn't everyone doing it? It's because not everyone's willing to take the time to find those pockets where you can do that, because a lot of your tests will not do that. Even for the best of the affiliates online, they will lose more tests than they win. But when they win, they keep running that ad. So all the other ads, they just, okay, lost, turned it off, lost, turned it off, lost, turned it off. All that looks promising. I'll tweak it a little, try again, broke even, try it again, but tweak it a little more. Oh, it's profiting now. Now I can scale it. I'll spend more. And it's paid for all of the failed tests.
Exactly. And I think the other reason why a lot of people don't do it too, is people don't like to get out of their comfort zone right? People are just, for the most part. And then the other reason too is when I started to do well, I even showed my brother my ClickBank status, my the results.
Yeah,
that
you're
I was
platinum.
getting.
Congrats on that.
Oh my God, he was like, if you were not showing me this, I would have, and I saw online, I would never believe it. I would never believe that it's possible to make this much money. in a single day, like or a week or a month. Like, to me, that's like crazy. So, he started to run ads too, after seeing from me. But I think a lot of people are skeptical and they don't believe in it, right? And then some other people that get started, a lot of people, they don't understand the testing phase, right? That you have to go through this phase where you're testing to kind of finding your winners and get dialed in with the winners to be able to start making profit. And some people, that part of the process can be frustrating because they're not instantly seeing results, right? So there's a lot of work that you have to put up front. Like, you have to set up your ads, you have to do the work, which is, and it sounds like it's more complicated than it really is. Like, today, like, there's so many tools where you can find ads that are already running that are successful that you can model, and you can make this process really, really simple. And with Robbie's system, he teaches you how to do that. So there's like tons of resources and tools that you can use to make this process simple. But
I'll just stop here for a moment because I'm not quite sure when to interject a little bit. But yeah, this is great what you're telling us. It's absolutely great, and it makes complete sense, and it's really good that he's got all of these tools that help people and so forth. I think in terms of people even just believing that it's possible, I think it's important that people maybe use an analogy of something else. Like, if you can't believe that's possible, maybe you believe that that Walmart is making a lot of sales. A lot of people don't think of Walmart as an affiliate. Technically they're not an affiliate, but it's similar. Like, they might run an ad on TV for, let's say, some new laptop that they're now selling, or it might be for some furniture that they're selling or something like that. They're running the ad. All of a sudden, all these people go buy this. They make a margin there, or maybe they break even on that one, but they make a margin because people buy other products while they're at Walmart, right? And as a result, it's kind of like the same thing. They're spending money to make money, and then they find out which places that they run ads profit for them, which places don't profit for them. It's very, very similar, and it's always been the way that the people that do the best have found a method to spend money to make money. In the past, it wasn't so easy for people without a retail store to spend money to make money. People would have to start a physical store or buy a franchise, get all these items in and sell those. That's how they'd spend money to make money. Now you don't have to do that because an online store costs almost nothing to set up. To be an affiliate costs almost nothing. Or you just have to spend money on buying the traffic. So it's the same thing though. Like, when you'd really boil it down, it's the same thing. You're just trying to do what the big boys have been doing for many years. And people from their basements are now able to spend money to make money with these sort of models. If they're willing to push past and actually accept that there will be some losing ads along the way.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a great example. I think, like, Walmart was a great example, and not only that, like with the physical store, right? You would have to buy tons of inventory and then hope to sell, right? So the great thing about affiliate marketing is that basically you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to invest that money in inventory. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about customer service. All of that, it's the vendor takes care of that, and your job is just to actually take people to the vendor's page so that they buy from there, right? And you get a commission. So it's so simple that's why it's just so that's why, like, that's one of the reasons why I started doing it, just because it's like, okay, what do I have to do? Well, you basically have to create these ads. Here's some examples, and then you just have to learn how to set it up on Facebook or YouTube or whatever platform you're using, and then you start making money, right? So and you don't have to put that money up front. I think if I had to, I would have been a lot more on the fence, because I would be like, like, if I had to set up a physical store, or even if I'm selling online, but then I would have to worry about shipping, inventory, where am I, how am I going to find this money, get this money to be able to get all this set up, and what if I don't sell anything, right? And with affiliate marketing, you don't have to worry about that because you're not spending that money up front. So you do spend some money testing and to find a winning ad, but that's about it for investment.
Now you've managed to scale things to over $1 million in the last year in sales, obviously over 350,000 in profit. So you must have gone through a lot of the challenges that people face along the way. Maybe not this year, but maybe the year before when you were growing. So I would like to ask you, this is probably a tricky question, but I think I'm sure you will have an answer to it. What have you done if you've ever faced any, and I don't know if you've faced it or not, or you've seen other people face it, but what do you do if you have an ad account shutdown issue, like Facebook all of a sudden, just for some reason, they just shut your account down. They don't like what they're doing and the algorithm shuts you down. They haven't even looked at your site maybe, but you get the shutdown. What's your steps? Or have you been shut down? I don't know if you have. Maybe you've never been shut down. You might have a better method. So I think that's important.
Yeah, well, I definitely have many, many times. And when I started, and I mean, the first time that I started to see some success, and I was making like $1,000 days, and right after, maybe a month after that, I got shut down. Like my best account got shut down, my best profile got shut down.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, it was like, it was very sad, a sad moment for me. And I actually made the mistake because I didn't actually have any more accounts to use. So I learned from that. And then after that, I just created more. Basically, you just create more, you just create a good amount that you have, and you're always creating. If you're losing some, then you just basically create more ad accounts or more profiles, and you start doing some activity on them so that you're able to use them later on. But that's really, really all you have to do. Unfortunately, that's something that it happens all the time, and it happens with everybody, especially on Facebook. It's just part of the business. And when I got started, I'll admit that it was a little bit frustrating. But you just learn that with any business, there's always going to be things that you don't necessarily like to do, and that are not necessarily fun or good. And it comes, right. Any business, there's going to be that. And then for me, on what I'm doing, that's what I like the least, is just having to create more accounts. But,
right. So when you say stuff that you don't like doing, you're not doing anything unethical with the ads. There's no false promises or anything like that. I mean, I've seen pretty bland ads manage to do pretty well with this model and still lose an ad account. Like one of my friends has a plumbing business and lost his ad account, and it's like, it's a plumbing business. What you got to, as I said, you just got to apply to get it back, and he managed to get his back, right? But not everyone even thinks to appeal. Some people just throw up the white flag straight away. For me, I've always appealed and got my ad account back. I've lost it maybe 2 or 3 times, got it back each time. For some people, they have multiple ad accounts rather than go the appeal process. It's whichever way you go, or maybe there's a bit of both. The idea really is that there is an answer to everything, and it's a matter of whether you, I guess, in this case with Facebook, whether you are happy with your processes. If you feel like your processes is good, and this process that you're using with setting up new ad accounts, some people have been doing that for years. It's even Facebook, they know about it, but they also know their algorithm's a little bit flawed, and their algorithm's flawed because they don't have enough staff to human review all the ads. So some ads just get, the ad account gets shut down because the algorithm's set extra tight. It can be an interesting little battle there, particularly when you're adding a new product to your range. Can be, I guess, that can be risky at times for your overall account. Saying that, do you find that when more ad spend goes through, the ad account tends to have more longevity to it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So it usually the restrictions, they tend to happen early on when you start to set up ads, right? So it's about the account behavior. So usually, if you never ran any ads on that ad account, Facebook thinks that's suspicious that now you're suddenly running ads, and that's when the restriction happens for the most part, and they just want to confirm your identity, make sure that you are really you. there are people that actually, I know some people that got their Facebook accounts hacked, and that's why Facebook is so protected. Like they want to protect it. They want to make sure that your account's not getting hacked, and they want to make sure you are you, and that's why their algorithm is so sensitive, right? And restrictions can happen with anybody, and it just does, and they just want to confirm. So you definitely request a review and submit an ID, but it is what it is. Sometimes, most of the time, it comes back, but sometimes the review doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't work out.
And we're not talking about a personal Facebook account, so people realize it's not like you lose your personal account. We're talking about a advertiser account, a business account, just so that people are aware of what we're referring to here.
Yeah, no, it's not your personal profile. It's basically what all that they would do is just restrict that account from running ads, right? So that's basically what it is. It doesn't affect your personal profile where you see your friends and you see what your friends are doing, where you can post. It doesn't affect that. It's just basically a restriction where it says you cannot advertise anymore until you confirm your identity, right? So that's basically what it is. But all you have to do is just make sure that you're requesting a review. And when it comes to like running ads, and sometimes this happens even before you start running ads, like I said, it's just because the algorithm is very sensitive, and it just wants to confirm you're a you. So when you start out with a campaign, it just usually it will do that. But then, like you said, over time, as you gain that trust with Facebook, then that tends to be to happen a lot less.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, like, I've gone years without a problem before as well. It's one of those things. I haven't lost an ad account in the last year and a half. I went 2 years before that without losing an ad account, and then I lost a ton of ad accounts in this short space of time. At one point, when I was kind of getting a few things figured out with the new model. So it's, it can happen. And I guess it's something that's the difference between people that are, I guess, doing super well and people that say this model doesn't work because they're worried about that. It's not that you're doing something wrong necessarily that's causing the shutdown. I think that's quite important. It's literally an algorithm that is now at some points dialed up really tight for, say, health offers, and everyone that's got a similar type health offer is all of a sudden just instantly shut down, and then they wait to see who appeals to come back. That's easier than trying to whittle their way through all of them, so they can get rid of, like, some people that are doing something wrong. They'll look and go, oh, they caught me, and then they won't try and appeal. Whereas you would look and go, well, I wasn't doing anything wrong, I might hit the appeal button. It's a little difference there. What do you do then if you need to verify your identity and all of that, and with a new account? And do you have to use a new credit card with a new account? I mean, that sounds like a big hassle that some people might say, oh, I don't know if I like that idea. What do you say to that?
So with the credit card, basically what I do is I use virtual cards. So I use just one credit card, but I generate multiple virtual cards for that, and then that's what I use for each of my ad accounts. And so it's really simple. Like the credit card, it's not really hard. It's not hard at all to get that set up. There are tons of companies that will provide that for free, where you can just basically connect your bank account to that and then generate multiple virtual cards.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's really good. But what about the identity, when they say, right, we need to verify your identity? Wouldn't they see, do you use different IP addresses as well, or do you just use the same identity and you're like, this is me again?
I use the same identity. I mean, I do have some profiles that, I have some with my family's names, and then I have their identities, like my brother, my sister, my father, and then I have lots with my name, and I just basically use my own ID to verify my profile, and never had any
so
issues
several with the same name, and that's okay. That's handy. So
yeah.
So you set up a new one, but it's still got your name, but that didn't matter. that literally didn't matter, but the credit card mattered more than that. I see. And I know that all of this is covered in the training and so forth with Robbie. I know that there's a lot more detail and stuff, but I think it's good that people are well aware going into anything that these things can happen. So then they decide before they buy a program or not, or want to go down this path, whether or not that's for them or not. And for some people, they look at this and go, I don't, the fact that that much money can be made doing this, the fact that these are still good products that can be promoted here and, and pay out excellent commissions, they say, well, it's worth it for the price of having a model that works well. If that's the natural barrier that keeps out other people from making this oversaturated. So that's why it's not oversaturated. Some people don't like that. Then some people, they'll go, you know what, that's all right. I can handle that. Now that I know that's what's actually protecting me in some ways also.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me, like when one of the reasons why I started to get started was I was at a point in my regular job that my 9-to-5 job that I felt like I wouldn't be able to grow much more, right? Like there wasn't that much opportunity for what I used to do. I was a designer, a drafter. I don't know if you're familiar with AutoCAD, but I used to design laboratories. So like lots of, like Moderna and Pfizer, like all these labs, I used to design labs for them. And there's only so much like I would, even though they really liked my work and they always gave me raises, but there's only so much more they can pay me, right? Because there's tons of other designers that would be that would do the same work for a lot less. So there's only so much. I could only get to a point, and I wanted more. I wanted to be able to actually make more money and be able to afford other things, and I felt like what am I gonna do? Like, let me try to find another job, but then I'm like, I don't have experience with something else, and I'm just gonna not make nearly as much as I make now with my current job. And I was at that point that I just needed something else that I would be able to make more money and actually buy a home and do things that I wanted to do. And this was the opportunity for me. This was like the light in the tunnel, the end of the tunnel, where I was like, okay, this, actually I can do this. And I don't need the experience, right? I don't need a college degree for it. I can actually make money. This is an opportunity where I can make more money and get the things that I want to do and do the things that I want to do with my life. So that's basically for me what got me into affiliate marketing. It was that possibility, the possibility of being able to have a better life, like to make more income. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know. I mean, would I have to get maybe a different college degree? I don't know what I would have done, but I was at that point when I started learning affiliate marketing, because I just wanted to be able to make more money and afford things, and that's when I decided to join. And it's been truly, like, for me, it has been life-changing. I have never made with my other job, I would have never be able to make this much money that I have been able to do with affiliate marketing.
No, and it's amazing. And congratulations on reaching platinum status over at ClickBank. Obviously, that's a pretty awesome thing to achieve. But also, you'll notice when you attend a platinum event, obviously there's different levels you can be at, and at the platinum events, there's a lot of people there. It's because it could be hundreds and hundreds of people, and that's not even and maybe only 5% of the platinums even turn up anyway, because it's at a certain location in the world, you've got to fly out there and all of that, and there's a lot of people doing that well. And to be platinum, I think you have to be over $250,000 a year to be platinum. So that's shows that there's a lot of people doing well. Now, I think there's just one other thing I want to bring up just before we wrap things up. I think also when it comes to, obviously, ClickBank's not the only place you can get products to promote. I'm sure you've promoted products from other networks, but we'll focus in on ClickBank for a moment. They have had their ups and downs. There have been times, because I've been using ClickBank since the year 2000. I've seen times where the offers there are amazing, and then I've seen other times where I'm having real conversations with them saying, look, I could tell you that 50 of your top 100 products are below a standard that what should be in an organization that has been around this long. They shouldn't be on your network. And lo and behold, 3 months later, all the 50 products are gone, or at least the majority of them are. Some of them are raised in standard. So I think that there's a perception out there that ClickBank products are bad. ClickBank isn't a collection of products. Okay, there are different merchants producing each product on ClickBank. So some people have vastly different quality standards than others, and the lower level products can taint the market perception of what the rest of the products are like, which is unfortunate. I'm sure you're probably like me and try to weed out the bad ones from the good ones. How do you go about doing that? Like, do you order product samples? Do you go check? Do you ask for where it's manufactured? Or what's your take on all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, my strategy. It's really actually really simple. I basically look at the top 2 pages on Marketplace, on ClickBank Marketplace, and I know that the offers that are the top offers, they're doing well, right? They're selling, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be the top offers there. So I just basically search by top offers, and that's when I know that it's a good offer. And for the most part, there's always an offer coming out, right? It just never stops. And once one offer dies out, there's also like another offer just starting that it's pretty good. And just right now, there are 2 offers that are, one that just started, I think, a week ago, it's doing really well. And then there's another one coming out next week, which I'm excited to try and test. Okay. But that's really just what I do. I just go on
I get it. So you're looking and saying, you know what, ClickBank is getting better and better these days at policing an offer that if it managed to blow up so much that it's making so many sales per day that it's made it to the top 2 pages, you're saying like, you don't mind that it might be competitive because you back yourself to do well anyway. You just like that you can trust that it must convert well and it must be a reasonable offer, or ClickBank would have caught it by now if there was something like scammy about it, like it was, dangerous for people. It didn't actually provide the nutritional benefits or whatever, if it didn't, it wasn't manufactured in the US. Like they have all these standards as well, I guess, that help prevent those issues. And so that's what you're saying. You're just not going to look at the ones that you think may or may not have been vetted as closely yet because they're further down the list, as opposed to going, it's all right to take a risk on that. I'm going to vet it myself. Like, you're going to stay away from worrying about vetting it yourself because you're just going for the ones that are at the top anyway.
Yeah, I go for the ones that I know that are doing well. And then also now I know some of the vendors that they're when they're launching new products. Right? And then I know okay, like I know that they're really good at setting up their VSL and marketing their product. And I know because I promoted some of their products before. So when they're launching a new one, that it's almost like, okay, they know what they know how to market their product, and I know it's going to be a good one, and then I'm much more confident to get to start on that. And usually those make it to the top 2 pages really, really fast because they're good products. So that's the other strategy I use, but it's basically that. No,
that makes sense. You already know they're a good vendor. You already know what they do, and you will have known from making a lot of sales whether or not customers complain about their offers or not, because if they do, then you find that's an annoying product to promote because you'll see the comments on your ads and all sorts of other things. So you haven't had any issues. They've got a new product. That's possibly because of their experience. It's worth testing as well. That makes good sense.
Yeah.
And obviously you probably know other affiliates too that are doing well, and they may sometimes suggest products to you. I'm guessing from time to time that happens.
Yeah, of course. And that's the benefit of having a network and being part of a community that is doing what you're doing, right? And just being able to exchange that and knowing like what other people are running and what's doing well and what's not doing that great. So obviously I do take that in consideration as well. But most of the time, like the ones that are doing well, they're still on the top 2 pages of ClickBank. And yeah.
I think you've been amazing. Like, I have thrown a few curly questions at you. I think it's quite important though, because you've got the knowledge, and I know people, they want to know this stuff and they want to be well informed, but I think they'll be really grateful that you've been completely transparent. You've told it how it is. You've not held anything back, and people can see exactly what they can see how you're doing this, and you've been like absolutely amazing. I think that it's quite important that you've been so transparent. I think that's really, really helpful to everybody. And I just want to say a big thank you. And you're really inspiring. Your whole story about why you started this, and how much change that it's given you. I think that's been really helpful also. Can you please just give me a reason or 2 or 3 why somebody should join the workshop that I'm about to run with Robbie? Where he's going to obviously show this stuff on screen and share more about how this whole process works.
Yeah. So I think if someone's watching this interview, it's probably someone that was in a similar position that I was, right? When I said I was looking for something else, something that would allow me to grow professionally, make more money. And this is what I was able to do, right, without having to go back to college and get another 4-year degree. And this is just an opportunity. If you're in that situation, which I believe you are, if you're watching this video, I think if you're in that situation, this is just something that it's doable. It's easy enough for anybody to learn, right? So does it take work? It does. Does it take determination? Do you have to put in hours? Is it, I think, I'm not going to say that it's something that it's easy money, right? You do have to put in the work. You do have to make an effort to be able to make money.
Yeah, it's a business. It's not a fly-by-night scheme, though. At least, people like yourself, you've been able to do this for the last couple of years and just growing and growing. Robbie's been doing this for several years. It's not a fly-by-nighter. It's not some secret loophole. It is something that is proven and has been dialed in from year to year. And now this is this workshop. It's going to be the up-to-date version of it. There's software changes over time. You see what's new there. Join the workshop. You want to know how the method works these days. You want to join the workshop, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, like if you're on the fence and you're in a situation where you're looking for something else to do to be able to generate more income, this is something you can do. It doesn't require any skills. Everything that you need to know is in the training, and you can learn from start to finish, right? Everything that you need to do to be able to start generating some extra income. So I just want to encourage people to really believe in themselves. I think I struggle with that a lot. So I think when I tell my story sometimes to some people, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. I'm like, really? Like, I don't really think it is. But they're like, like I'm in a similar situation and I have so many doubts. And so I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. I struggle with that. And if you're feeling that way, like, I don't know if I can do it, right? You can. I mean, you have to put in the work. You have to make an effort. You have to watch, learn, watch the training, and then just put in the work every day, a little bit every day. And you can do it too. So definitely, I would definitely recommend and encourage you to really just believe in yourself and just go for it, right? Just do something. A lot of times we want to do things and we just hold ourselves back, right? Like, and we make up all these reasons why we can't do what we want to do. But the reality is, if you really want something, you just have to go for it and just do it. And you'll find the time, and you find everything that you need to find to make it happen.
All right. Well, absolutely. And just want to say once again, thank you. You've been very inspiring, Mariath. And for everyone listening, if you want to know how to do what Mariath does, I've got I've got Robbie, who's obviously taught all of this to Mariath over this time. I've got him on a workshop with me coming up. Make sure to register and join us as he shares with you over the camera, on camera, exactly what he does, what the steps are involved with case studies, how it works, up to date and so forth. And I think that it's going to be a game changer for many of you. So once again, thank you, Mariath, for being here. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.